Hey, it's Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. We're going to make a pancake wreath. This is a kit. So we're going to make a pancake wreath with the 2 lemon sprays, which did come as part of your kit. So everything you see that the materials that are making the wreath is what came in the kit, including the 2 of the lemon things, the ribbons for our bow. I should say bow, plural, bows. Ribbons for our bows. The sign itself, our roll of deco mesh, which I already pre-cut 20 inches long. It comes with our sign. It comes with the pipe cleaners that we need. It comes with the ribbons for our ribbon tails, which here's how I know it's the ribbon tails. All of our ribbons come folded just like this. And I know that 2, 3, 4, 5 even strips are for the bow. I know that I need 12 each for the ribbon tails. So when I count the ones that are for the ribbon tails, there'll be 12, okay? So that's how I know which ones are for the ribbon tails. That's how I know which ones are for the bow. So the ribbon tails will also come folded just like this. They are 14 inches long. Check to make sure before you cut, but they should be 14 inches long. Just stick your scissors right in the center and cut. You don't have to cut individually 14 inches. Stick it right in the center and cut, okay? That'll make it much faster for you, all right? So we're going to get started. This is how much rib mesh is left after you've done all your cutting. So we have that, and you can set that aside because you're not going to use it in this project, okay? Same with the ribbons for the bow. We're going to set those aside for now. And we're going to get started. I'm even going to set aside our sign. Just because we're not going to do anything to it just yet. Okie dokie. All right, so let's get started. We're going to put our pipe cleaners in our patent pending pancake wreath frame. So we're just going to start by putting our pipe cleaners right in the hole. So there's holes and notches. Where those holes and notches are, that's where you're going to want to put in your pipe cleaner. And I am twisting it kind of right here on the edge. So not in the center, not on top of the hole, and not inside the notch, just kind of on top, right at the edge. But this way you don't have to measure, you don't have to cut, you don't have to count, you don't have to nothing. The frame itself does all that work for you. This is our 2-year. We've had the frame now for 2 years. Super excited about that. Just all the way across, nice and tight. So this did come as a kit. Again, all those pieces, all the pieces that you need came with the kit. Also keep in mind when you are purchasing 2 kits from us or more at the same time, we do adjust the shipping. So the system will charge you each individual kit. It'll charge you shipping for each kit. And then when we do the shipping and the actual calculations, we do refund back the excess. Just keep that in mind when you're checking us out. If you're looking for what we have available, you can check it out at learnfrommelissa.com. Okay, I already pre-cut. Again, I pre-cut our mesh. It's going to be really simple, super easy. I'm just going to ruffle right up the center. So ruffle right up the center, ruffle, 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 ruffle. Ruffle right up that center and go right into the outside first, down so that your mesh is touching that wood, and take that pipe cleaner and go crisscross, twist, twist. Then I'm going to overlap here and overlap here. So a pancake wreath makes your wreath nice and flat, easy to fit between your main door and your storm door. So that is the purpose of this wreath style. Again, ruffle, 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 ruffle. Right at the center. Again, these are cut 20 inches long. I did cut them with a rotary cutter. You can cut it with a scissors if you want, or if that's the only thing you have. But it will help with the fraying of the mesh. So all mesh it frays on the ends. Overlapping it like this and overlapping it like this helps to camouflage. But it does not stop. Okay, it doesn't stop it from fraying. It's a woven material. It's going to fray. Some more than others. It's just your job as the creative to make it in a way that it camouflages or hides. Okay? But here's what I want you to know. When you play with it more, it frays more. So if you get it all ruffled and you're like, oh, I don't like the way that looks, and then you undo it and then ruffle it again, well, guess what? Those edges are like, hey, person, right? What are you doing to me? That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. And now I'm going to look worse. So keep that in mind. So if you've never added mesh before, take what's left on the roll and practice with that. Don't practice with the pieces that you're going to put in your wreath. Also, you do want to take the first 12 pieces that come off that roll. Those are the pieces that you want to use for your wreath. Okay, so the first 6 pieces go on the outside, just like we're doing right here. And the next 6 pieces go on the inside on these. And the reason for that is the pieces that are on the outside of the roll are a little bigger, right? When you cut them, they expand. They're a little bit bigger. See, like big. And the pieces on the inside of the roll, you can see the difference, yes? Right? Okay. So they're just a little bit more expanded. I want the ones on the outside to be a little bit more expanded. And I want the inside ones, I can manipulate those to be expanded. I want these to do them on their own. Does that make sense? Because I want these pieces to touch each other. Okay, I want those pieces to kind of go and blend. All right, so we're going to take our next step is the ribbons. Now I've already pre-cut our ribbons again. I'll not only pre-cut them, I've matched them and dovetailed them. So let's dovetail. I'm going to take this. I've already dovetailed it, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to take my scissors, cut on the fold up towards the edge. On the fold up towards the edge. Okay? And then I have this pretty finished look here. Now I have pretty good scissors, so I do several of them at a time. But then once I have both sides cut, I take my favorite ribbon of the two, or the cute ribbon, or whatever one, and I put it on top of the other. I align it so that they're mostly in line. Like this one, the green's a little bit longer. It's fine. I just want the green again to be a little bit longer on this side, right? Okay. Find the center. And then when I unfold, I'm just going to scrunch up just like I did the mesh. Scrunch. Fold it out towards me. The sign is going to go in the middle of this wreath. I want everything else out towards me. And put that right in there. Crisscross, twist, 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 about 6 or 7 times. And we're going to go on to the next one. We're going to do the next step all together. So we're going to do this step all together. So I'm going to scrunch, scrunch, put it in there, out towards me, twist it nice and tight 6 or 7 times. Because when I go to fluff it, I want that to be nice and tight, and I don't want it to come apart, right? I don't want it to loosen or, you know, end up with one long tail and one short tail because I pulled on it and it, you know, came out of there. So just nice and tight, twist 6 or 7 times, keep going all the way around. So I do the first layer, or the layer on the outside first. Therefore, it's all out of the way. And then I don't have to touch it or go back to it or anything. I don't have to, nothing, right? I just go to the next step. Okay, next step, I'm going to take my wire cutter and cut off the excess. Cut off all the extras. So I don't need the extra. I don't need this part. It's not serving any purpose, so I'm just going to cut it off. Then I'm going to take this and fold it in. I'm going to push it down, like compact it. I'm going to lift it up and down and side to side. And when I mean lift it, I mean pull those ribbons apart, right up in here. Pull those apart, up and down, side to side, so that they have now become themselves again, and you can see each of them by themselves. I'm going to push that down, scrunch, lift it up and down, side to side, lift up and down, side to side. Okay? So that I can see all of those ribbons individually. This is an important part. You're putting in 2 of those ribbons, and in the end you want to see both of those ribbons, right? You don't want one to just stay on top of the other and you don't see the green one. You want to see both of them, and so you want to make sure you do pull those apart. Okay, so I'm all the way around. Perfect. Now I'm going to start going in to my pipe cleaners on the inside and do the same thing. Everything that I did out here, I'm going to do on the inside. Everything. So scrunch, 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 scrunch. Then go right on top for my second layer. Overlap, overlap. Okay, same thing. I'm just going to keep going as I go along. I'm going to now watch the 2 of these meshes overlap from one another. So the outside layer kind of barely touches, and the inside layer completely overlaps one another. So this part is going to go over this part, which will start to cover your frame. So if you at first you're on the first layer and you're like, this lady's nuts, I can still see the frame. That's true. You gotta trust the process. Because now, even without the second layer of ribbons, you can't see it. Overlap, overlap. Pretty green. I went with the green. I thought, usually you have obviously yellow with your lemons, but the green, the sign had so much green, and so I really wanted to just kind of focus on that, and so that everything wasn't yellow, so that when we put in our picks that have the yellow floral and the yellow lemons, that wasn't blending in. So I wanted everything else to kind of be green, which maps the sign and goes perfect, but then have the, the sprays, the lemon sprays really stand out. So that's kind of why I went with all the greens instead of yellows, purposefully. And so far I think it turned out great. Just making sure. Now, I intentfully want my wreaths to be thin. I sell on Etsy, but I also sell at a local boutique. And so the folks who buy wreaths there, they like them thin. They like to go on between their door and their storm door or their, you know, screen door or whatever. And so intentfully, I like them thin. But if you're not intentfully doing that, you can skip the overlap part if you really want. It does make it a little bit more fluffy. However, another way to kind of camouflage that end and that cut edge is to overlap. So keep that in mind as well. Okay. And then again, same thing. I'm going to go with our ribbons right on top. Same exact thing. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. Fold it out towards you. Everything comes off the edge of the ribbon, the mesh. Nothing goes in towards the inside because our sign will cover it up. Okay, so we don't want anything going on the inside. We want it all coming on the outside. Same thing, I'm going to pick up the wire cutter and cut off the excess here. Again, don't need it, don't want it, don't have to have it. Okay, also same thing, I'm going to push that down. The only difference is instead of pushing straight down, I'm going to kind of push that in a little bit so that it helps separate the two layers out here. So you see a little bit more of that outside layer and it brings that in a little bit. Push down and push in. And down, side to side. Push down, push in, and down, side to side. Push down and in, up and down, side to side. That is a very important part of this whole design, making sure you, because when you gather those ribbons, you know, and kind of ruffle them up, you kind of make them become one because you're ruffling them and together. And so you want to make them, you know, allow them to be their own person again, right? Be their own, shine on their own. So then our sign could go right in the center. But don't forget we have our two things and our bow. So let's keep that in mind also. So let's set this aside for just a second. We're gonna set this aside for just a second. And let's do two things. Let's fluff our greenery or picks, sprays. So I just want to fluff it to make it all pretty, pretty, pretty. I'll give it a little life. Make sure I pull some down. And spread out our lemons. They're nice and big. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to make it like big this way, but big, you know, so that it's got a wide presence to it. Just want to touch every one, kind of move it around. Okay, so that's going to go kind of down here on the bottom. We're going to put a nice, real easy, simple bow. So the first thing I'm going to do is, let's just make it this way anyway. Let's just make this part first. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is make a, let me just check my math here, 7, let me just check my math here first, hold on, 6, tail, perfect, okay. All right. I took the last of the roll, and that's where it's like a little, also, did you know, and I don't have it with me, oh yeah, I do. Did you know that using a straightener, just a hair straightener, will iron your ribbon the easiest, most simplest way? Forever, I just kept forgetting to bring my because I don't use my straightener, I just kept forgetting to bring it downstairs. I almost barely used it in the first place. I cleaned it and then brought it down. Okay, so I'm going to use 7 inches. I'm going to go 7 inches, and we're going to go 1 6-inch loop, 1, going to pinch, pull it apart, twist, 2 6-inch loops, and pinch. One loop and one tail on each side. One loop, one tail on each side. Then I end up with a 17-inch piece. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, we're going to go to the next one. We're going to go same thing, a little bit smaller this time, just a little bit. Loop, a little bit smaller. I'm going to go pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, set it down in there. Cut my tail off a little bit longer than the actual loop. Okay. Going in with the lemons. Same thing. And I'm just going to keep doing this. If I had more ribbons, I would be doing the same thing. Just a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. Pinch. Twist, loop, pinch, twist, right down in there. And we're going to use all those ribbons, so don't do anything with those. We're going to go a little bit here, and then I'm going to start with one small tail, one small loop rather, one small loop, okay, and then still 2 tails, okay, still 2 tails, 2 loops, excuse me, two loops still. I just wanted that one little loop in the center, really. Oops, I twist that. Thought it was twisted, sorry. right down the center, and then this is all going to be for something separate. Okay. Just going to lift that off there. Squeeze it nice and tight. Nice and tight. There we go. And then while it's in this position, I'm going to go ahead and do all my dovetailing and just cut all the edges of the ribbon. So I'm doing the fold, cut on the fold up towards the edge. Same with I did on the ribbon tails. Okay, so I went with a smaller bow because we have a nice big sign and I have all these other things going on. Let's set that aside for just a minute. And then I have all these extras. Okay, so I have 21 inches. We're going to cut these in 7 inches. Here's my 7. Oops. Let's just cut that in half. There we go. Okay. Just going to cut these and give it a little pizzazz on the ends. Okay, and we have, how many inches here? 22. So we're going to go 7 inches again. 7. 7. 7. I'm going to cut all 3 of those all together at the same time. Let me just make sure here. There we go. I think we have 16 inches here. Perfect. So I'm going to go 8 and 8. And then I think we have 16 inches here. Over 16. Okay. I'm going to go 8 and 8 again. So we're going to make a little bow for the top. So if you follow the measurements for the bow itself, with the amount of ribbon that came with your kit, you'll have this much ribbon left, okay? So now I'm going to take my kit, or my leftovers. I'm going to take this leftover, and I'm going to start the process. So crisscross. Actually, I'm going to go crisscross with the yellow behind. Crisscross with the yellow behind. Because I don't want to hide that too much. I'm going to hide this. Even if it's right on top, you'll see. When you scrunch it together, you'll see the back. Okay, you'll see the back. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, all scrunched together. Where's my other pipe cleaner? Here we go. I'm going to scrunch it together. Now, if you have, this is tricky, but if you have one of those little kid easy bow makers, I've been using those for these kinds of bows, and it's so much easier. It's so great. But I'm just going to push those together, squeeze it together nice and tight as best as I can. Take my pipe cleaner and go over the top. 2, 3 twists. Okay, I don't want to build that up back there. I don't want it to be too much, right? And so then, before I go to the next step, just going to fluff those all up. Now you can add all those pieces. You don't have to add all those pieces. You don't have to add this part. You can if you want, but I think it's going to look better on the sign where we cover up that top piece. Now, you can leave that center black with the pipe cleaner showing, or you can take that leftover yellow piece, okay, fold it, and put it around like this. If you have a leftover yellow piece. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, depending on your measurements. Okay. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to take my little glue gun. Just add a little bit of glue back here. Try not to get my fingers. So sometimes I leave it exposed, sometimes I don't. Just really depends. Either way, I'm going to take our pipe cleaner and go right over it so that it keeps it together. Okay? I'm going to scrunch that, take it and scrunch it down, make it a little bit flatter. So I have this super cute little, if you had other ribbons that you wanted to add to this, by all means, totally do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to use that pipe cleaner to go through the sign to attach the sign at the top. Okay, that's what we're going to do with this. So I'm going to attach this right through here. Okay, that's where I want it to be. And then I'm going to use this, again, I'm going to use this to attach this whole sign in. And then, let's fluff our bow. Okay. I'm going to start from the top and take that center ribbon, kind of go back and forth. So I'm nice and covered up that pipe cleaner. Hold it from the back, right? And then I'm just going to go tail on one side, loop on the other. Loop on the tail side, tail on the loop side. So I'm just going to keep going back and forth so that we have a little alternate going on here. Okay. So loop on this side, tail on this side. I'm just going to go opposite. Okay. Easy breezy. That one's a little awkward because the tails are both on the one side, but that's okay. All right. Now, still using your pipe cleaner. Okay, still using your pipe cleaner. I'm going to take our pieces and attach with my pipe cleaner. Okay, easy breezy. So let's just make sure I'm going to be able to put this in. I'm going to attach our sign first to the top, okay? So I'm going to put this in. That's how it's going to go. Honestly, without the bottom part, it would still be beautiful, just like this. Adorable. I'm just going to take that pipe cleaner and feed it right through the mesh. Sorry, trying to concentrate and get it through. This is the hardest part of the whole, in my opinion. This is the hardest part of the whole darn thing. Getting that pipe cleaner through all those layers of mesh is just sometimes my enemy. Okay, all right, we got him in. I'm going to do my best to get it around the whole thing, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do that. Oh yeah, I can. I got it. So all I did was take the pipe cleaner in, and then I fished it through, went around the frame, and used the frame obviously to attach the sign. And then I'm going to take what's left and stuff it under here. Okay. And then the one that goes in the bottom is going to do the same thing, but the one that goes in the bottom is going to hold a couple of things. Okay, it's going to hold a couple of things. It's going to hold the, and we'll fix all the ribbons in a second. It's going to hold the bow, it's going to hold the sign, and it's going to hold the picks. I know, crazy, right? Okay, so I want these to kind of go on an angle. Even though they're going to go in the center, I don't want them to go across the center like this. I want them to go kind of on an angle. So I want them to go like that on purpose. Okay, I'm going to spread this apart, spread this down, maybe spread it apart a little bit, and let those greeneries kind of come. Now, if you have a pipe cleaner at home or a zip tie at home, you want to use those, that's fine. It did not come with your kit, but you can add those if you needed to. So I'm going to go right around that spot. Clearly, I don't want to hide our lemons. I don't want to hide them completely. And I don't want to hide our flowers. So our bow is going to kind of get mixed around here. It's all right. And then I'm going to twist it one time, nice and tight. Twist it one time, nice and tight. Okay, so it's staying together. And then I'm going to take what's left and go through the sign, through the mesh, and attach to the frame. Okay, so I'm going to do that where you can't see that, but that's what I'm doing. Through the sign, through the mesh, and we'll fix it all in just a second. Through the mesh. Okay, one side. This is the trickiest part of the whole entire thing. It's a trick. Magic trick. There we go. Both sides in. Okay. Now, pull it really tight because it's got all that stuff in it. Up. In this case, I'm going to use our secret holes. Our secret extra holes I'm going to use. Oh yeah, baby. Perfect. Okay, guess what I just did? Those extra holes that are in the frame where they don't have a notch can be useful for a situation just like this. I want it to be nice and tight, but I didn't have enough to go around the whole thing. And so I was able to just grab one of those small holes and put it right through. And boom, here we go. Okay, perfect. Now we put it together so that it's not covering our sign completely, okay? All right, so I want us to keep that welcome there. Use your hot glue. I'm going to pull this down over here instead of up really super duper cute. That is ended up to be a little bit too big. So I'm just going to go underneath and kind of fold it a little bit. So I folded the actual loop, the actual ribbon. So I folded this back here. Like I folded that to make it look appear to be a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter. And I'm going to cut this just a little bit. Perfection, just like that. Darling. Absolutely darling. The last thing I'm going to do is take out all of our ribbons and make sure that no one's hiding like that one was. No one's hiding. No one's underneath the other. All of our points are out facing where they supposed to be. So they all look nice and neat and perfectly spaced. So that when I pick it up from here and take it right over to the door to take our picture, it's perfect. Love, love, love. Making sure everything is pointing where it needs to go. And then I am definitely going to add a couple of dabbles of glue just to make sure that that is secure and safe. Well, I guess, I don't know if I am or not actually. It seems to be pretty good. I don't know, it seems to be pretty good. Actually, it's beautiful. It's so perfect. I love the sunflowers in it. I love that you can see the lemons. And it's super thin. Perfect for that in-between door pancake wreath. Y'all, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Even if you didn't purchase this kit, I hope you enjoyed or were inspired or had an idea or any of those things. Make sure you're subscribed so that you can watch the rest of our designing, and I hope to see you again soon. Again, learnfrommelissa.com is where you can see all of our, it's like our directory, our social medias, our free resources, a list of our favorite suppliers, favorite tools, all those things. I am thankful and grateful to have you here watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye, y'all.